We're going to try this with Winnie in the building. We'll see how it goes. Sometime I'll be making good points and then Winnie will start acting up. But you know how we do it here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of This Is Recorded podcast. First and foremost, I want to issue an apology. There was no podcast. There was no announcement. There was no heads up. I've been feeding y'all for a long time. I hate when podcasts just don't drop and don't say anything, but then I did it. So first and foremost, want to apologize for that. Also want to be honest, just getting in my feelings, watching views and the views is low and doing this and doing that and realizing like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do it. That got in the way. But I did try to make a little YouTube like posting thing. They do have something on YouTube, but I didn't put anything on the social media. But I want to tell you that in me feeling down and out and I don't know about this and what am I doing, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of inspirational talk, a lot of people just talking about different stuff that I'm interested in. And I realized that everything I listened to this week was don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. Don't give up. You might be right there. Don't quit. It took us a really long time. We just now seeing something 5 years in. This, that, and this. So for me, Reggie, for you listening or watching, my message to you is don't quit. Keep going. You could be right there. One of my favorite little photo things, inspirational photo things, is a guy walking back. They're in like a diamond mine and they're cutting through dirt. And one guy is one more chip away and he starts walking back. But the other guy is just going hard, hitting it. And then he's going to get to the diamond because he's never going to quit. And I feel like that's for me. That's for you. Keep on going towards that diamond. Don't quit because we might be one hit away. Might be one podcast away, one person from listening. So keep going, whether you're in college. Shout out to the whole Fort Valley. I got to do something with the colleges, man. I got a lot of love out of there. Anybody that's listening, really, man, don't quit. You might be right there. How you guys doing? It's football season. We drop these Sundays at 7. But I know most people watching maybe on Monday to get that inspiration. But football season is upon us now. I didn't get enough people in, so I didn't want to start a fantasy football league, even though a lot of people told me they would do it. Shout out to them. Also, shout out to my boy, Sean. He got me that Saquon Barkley, memorabilia with the Giants logo, man. Shout out to my boy Saquon. Shout out to my boy Sean. I really appreciate this, my brother. But I did a fantasy lineup. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know who plays half the time anymore. But I'll tell you my players. I got Joe Burrow. I got Saquon Barkley. I got Isaiah Pacheco. I think his name is Gabe Wilson. He played for the Jets. I don't know. I haven't been watching like that. Who else I got? Devontae Smith. I got Njoku, the tight end for Cleveland Browns. I got Bills defense. I got Butker, the Chiefs kicker. I got Dalvin Cook. I got Jay Dotson from the Commanders. I got Odell Beckham. I got Daniel Jones. I got D. Mooney from Green Bay Packers. I got Algier, running back for the Falcons. And I got Campbell, a wide receiver for the Giants. Like I said, I don't watch sports as much as I used to. I still love it. I still love the competitive nature of it, but I just don't really know what I'm doing. So in the comments, if you could help, or if you DM, text me, let me know, help me out, that would be greatly appreciated, because your boy doesn't know what he's doing. But I just love fantasy, and I love the idea of it. Definitely my young boys watching, the Fort Valley kids, all that stuff. If you watching, let me know, help me out. Tell me with some good things. Tell me who to stay away from. Help your boy out. Today is going to be a good day. Shout out to all the communities that do a lot of stuff in the community. And today I think I'm finally going to go. We have this Lovejoy community. That's where my wife is pretty much from and her family. and they do a lot for the kids, in that area. It's like an area where a lot of people, where it's like not gentrification really happened, but maybe the opposite is where they moved a lot of people from hoods, and then they moved them towards the Clayton County Lovejoy area. So there's a lot of people and a lot of kids that probably could run into a lot of junk, and a lot of kids from them hoods for real influence the kids that live over here now. And it's an area that's not really dangerous, the Clayton County area, but not really the safest. So, but anyway, it's a little park and they do a lot of stuff for the kids, and I never go, and I'm like, dang, they do a lot. They do like a little fishing thing. They had free food. They had giveaways. They do a lot of stuff. But today, Genuine is performing for a fall festival. They're going to have face painting. They're going to have horse riding and different little games and stuff. And it's all free, So I definitely want to go out there, show some support, take some pictures of my people in their element, having a good time. I got to get on my photo grind. But that's something that I want to do today, to really just get out there and to really enjoy and really just have a good time and be around some love, be around some people. I think it's going to be good. So today, that's going to be good, man. And it's really important to set your day with good intentions. For me, have a routine or set your day with good intentions. For me, I like to wake up, usually use the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, probably do my hair. Now that I got hair a little bit now, then, I do my 5 minutes of meditation, followed by a prayer. Then I read my little inspirational quote from my You're a Badass little daily quote thing. And then, while I'm in my meditation, I try to think about, even though most people, they don't want you to think, I try to think about my day and what I'm going to do. And I try to set intentions. And, it's important that, like, hey, today I don't want to let nothing get to me. Today I want to get this done. Today I want to go for a walk. Today I want to work on me. Today I want to get this done early in the day. Just like for me, like I love doing podcasts in the day with the light. There's something beautiful about seeing the sunrise every day, because especially when you see it when it's like kind of dark, but then it's going up, because it shows you that you made it to another day. A lot of people didn't get that chance. I know I bang that in people's head and I say that a lot, but it's true. A lot of people didn't wake up this morning, or a lot of people was waking up and feeling like there is no light. But when you wake up every morning and you see the light and you see things in your life, still going. It could be better, it could be worse. But when you wake up and you see that sunlight, when you see that daybreak, you notice that, hey, I got another chance. I got a new chance. It's a new loan on life. So take advantage of it, man. It's something beautiful about waking up and seeing the sun come in. The sun will come out tomorrow. There's something beautiful about it. So take advantage of it. When he hates lawnmowers. So we'll see how that goes. So just take advantage of it. Take advantage of each day. Take advantage of the sunlight. And just be thankful for it. Also, I wanted to talk to you guys about movies you never seen. I have this thing, and I tell people all the time, is everybody has one. Everybody has something that they never seen that's like a big deal, or never watched, or just something everybody does that you haven't done. For me, a movie that I've never seen, believe it or not, never seen Purple Rain. Never seen Star Wars. There's just certain movies that I've never seen, and it's like blasphemous for a lot of people. But I've never seen these movies before. It was some movies I watched recently that I can't call right now that I realized I've never seen them, but Purple Rain and Star Wars. I tried to do Star Wars, and I know it's like a certain way you watch it, but I couldn't necessarily really get into it like that. I don't know, sometimes if you're older, or you too far gone from it, or you're not going to accept it and understand it the same. I don't really know what the process is with that, but I've never seen that. But Purple Rain, to me, do not kill me. Rest in peace to the great man. I never was a pretty big Prince fan. I do like some Prince songs. I love Dove's Cry. Adorn is probably my favorite Prince song. Purple Rain is pretty cool, but I've never been I've been more of a Michael Jackson guy, because Prince was a little bit before my time, but also Michael Jackson was, but I veered off more to Michael Jackson. Please don't kill me, Aunt Roz. Uh, you know, yeah, but maybe I need to go into that with all this streaming. I need to watch Purple Rain to understand the legend. But I want to say that I do respect the greatness and the legend that is Prince. Um, you know, rest in peace to him. I do see it. I do notice the genius. I do know why people hold him to that high standard, but I never really was big into it. Did appreciate the music, the songs I did hear though, and the style and the rebellion. I really appreciate that. But Purple Rain. In this fall season, my favorite season, football's back. It's getting cold outside. It's more indoor, chill vibes. I plan on watching a lot of movies these last couple months of the year. I plan on closing out the last couple months of the year strong and really going hard. I plan out giving you new stuff. So if you don't see me one of the weeks, I'm trying out new things I've been doing, working on different little series. I just love motivating, whether it's me or somebody else. So I've been working on some things that I want you guys to see. Because I live an amazing life. I have some amazing blessings coming in my life. I feel it and I know it and I'm confident in it. I'm thankful for the people in my life. You know, it's just a blessing, man, to just see everything. And you know, it's great to have things in your life going for you that's private. You know, I feel like with social media, we get into a vibe of oversharing. You know, like, I mean, social media started out as like, you know, people was showing their plate for the day, what they're having for breakfast and doing this and doing that. But the funny part is when you realize that most people don't care. You know, most people want to be in your business. People always know if you show an engagement, if you show a baby, if you talk about a death in the family, if you talk about bad stuff happened to you, if you show your car that was crashed, if you show this, if you show that, it'll bring a lot of engagement. It'll bring a lot of likes. It'll bring a lot of comments. But when you show positivity and just doing different things, people don't really show as much love. You know, when you're moving positive and doing certain things, you don't see as much until you're like popular. Then everybody's like, oh, I always loved this person, which is not true. But then they move like that. But for me, just know and understand, like, the social media thing is really a drug. And when you overshare and you share very personal things, or one thing I hate is when people have a disagreement and they're showing that and they're sharing that on social media. Shout out to Lil Duke, man. He said I'm out the matrix because he realizes the game of social media. It's the gift and the curse because it could really take you somewhere. It could take you far. You could build a brand. You know, you could do things like I'm doing. And it could be great, but also it could hurt you because, like, you know, when you talk about some personal things or you show a negative side of you or negative things in your life, it's on social media and a lot of people seen it. And a lot of people don't care, really. They just want to be nosy. They want to be in your business. When, you know, you showing your kids and this and that, some people might talk about your kids, but hit like. You know, when you do this or do that, or, you know, saying your financial status or your situation with your family or this or that, people don't really care. So what I tell people is, you know, try not to share as much, try not to show as much, and set boundaries. You know, therapy always talks about boundaries and setting boundaries. And what is that? What does boundaries look like? Boundaries is basically like certain things I'm not going for, certain things I'm not going to let happen, certain people I'm not going to let know, certain things that's going on in my life, and things that affect me or bother me in a negative way. I'm not going to let people, you know, be around me or enter my life that give me that type of feeling. You know, I told you guys about that Maya Angelou quote when she talks about people forget the things you did for them. People forget the time you spent sometime, but people will never forget how you make them feel, good or bad. When somebody makes you feel a certain way when you talk to them, or this or that, you have to set up boundaries. And that boundaries could look like never talking to that person again, or that boundary is set up like I can only talk to you at certain points or little portions of you. That's setting up boundaries. Boundaries is when you know you're in a bad relationship and you need to get out of it, or you end up helping this person out all the time even though y'all not together, or this or that. You have to set that boundary of I'm not doing that anymore. Boundaries could be with your parents, where they don't make me feel good, they always using me, they doing this, they doing that. When people constantly ask you for money or this, it's saying no. That's setting up boundaries. Boundaries is, I guess, with your kids as well, where it's like, hey, they tell me stuff last minute, they doing this, they doing that, they trying to run up over me. Hey, you set boundaries. In my quote book, it talks about setting boundaries as like, far as kids go, it talks about like, hey, at this time at night, I read. You have to understand, mommy or daddy reads from 7 to 7:30. You have to give me that time. You have to give me that space. And you will learn in due time. When you set up boundaries, it feels amazing. It feels amazing to, it's definitely a workout. It's a muscle. It might be hard to say no. It might be hard to move in a certain way. But that's what, is working out. Anything, hard is worth having, really, because you work for it. And the boundaries is hard at times. Boundaries is hard to set up, especially for your loved ones, because unfortunately, family is just a word. It's somebody you'll meet tomorrow that will treat you better than anybody in your whole entire life. And that's just real. In college, you meet a lot of great people. You learn about different people. And sometimes you learn, like, dang, my life is kind of blessed because somebody out here really got it bad. And that's the beauty of life. And that's why, everybody should experience struggling, being broke a little bit. So when you get some money and you're doing positive things, you really appreciate it. Because you know what it feels like to be broke, and you don't want to go back there. You setting up the boundaries like, I ain't trying to be broke no more. So you set up a boundary that I need to live my life a certain way. I need to buckle down. I need to be smart with my money. I need to do the right things. So in life, I tell you, set up that boundary. Set up that line that nobody can cross, no matter what, no matter how hard it is for you, no matter how difficult it is for you to say no. You set up that boundary with people in your life. You can't do this. That may look like mom, dad, sister, brother, child, spouse. And the truth is, the people that love you and are really there for you, they'll be fine with that. They'll know and understand that. And the truth is, the harsh truth, some people you might have to let go. That's just the realities of life, and that's just setting up boundaries in your life. You give everybody a chance, you work with them, but at some point in your life, you have to realize some people are not going to change. They're just going to be this way, and you have to change, and you have to put boundaries in your life that this is how you're going to be, no matter what. What else I got, man? Let's get into a quote. I wrote it down because the watch situation, man, it was making me look foolish. I felt like it was making me look bad. So I wrote it down this time. I wanted to, so I could, to let you guys know I could read. I did have Hooked on Phonics growing up, if you know what that is, but I can read. This thing be messing me up. I do get nervous sometimes when the camera's on. I feel great today. I feel like I got a good podcast for y'all. But let's get into a quote. And this quote is relating to boundaries. So I like this one, man. And we're going to talk about it briefly after this. I never knew how strong I was until I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry and didn't accept any apology I never received. And accept any apology I never received. I wrote and instead of and. Okay. It might be me. Let me read that again because it was deep and I confused everybody. I never knew how strong I was until I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry accept an apology I never received. Let's break down the first part. I never knew how strong I was until I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry. That's that boundaries thing. That's usually with a parent. You know, your parents are doing the best they can. You know, your parents are growing up, you know, with how they parents was. You know, a lot of people, you know, I feel like for a lot of people, especially older people, they didn't grow up in a household where people say I love you, and they didn't grow up in a household where the dad kissed the mom or the dad hugs the kids. You know, I've talked to somebody before, and they said that their dad didn't say I love you until they was in high school, and it just made them so emotional and they cried because it was like, wow, like they just never shown that soft side, you know. So, you know, I never knew how strong I was until I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry. You know, the parents, you know, probably wasn't sorry for not saying I love you and doing certain things because they simply didn't know. So you forgiving them is, you know, the ignorance conversation. I always say it's the ignorance of not knowing, and there's ignorance of knowing and not giving a fuck. That's what life is, you know, two different kinds of ignorance. And I feel like a lot of people with their parents, it's like ignorance of they don't know what they're doing. But sometimes, honestly, it's parents don't give a fuck. Because for me, it's not about what happened in the past. It's what you're doing now and what you're not doing now that will bother me and hold me and make me feel some type of way. And I know that makes a lot of people feel some type of way. But also to accept an apology I never received. Like I said, for that person, their parents never apologize for, you know, not saying I love you, not nurturing, not hugging, not kissing, stuff like that. But, you know, that was kind of their sorry, or in your mind or in that person's mind, they felt like that was a sorry, you know. This life, you have to understand, you may never get that nurturing. You may never get that person to act the way that you want. But you have to be at peace with the situations and the way that you live. You have to be at peace with it. Because this is life, and this is just how things are going to go. But you never knew how strong you was until you had to forgive somebody who wasn't sorry. And, you know, accepting an apology you never received. This life is an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs, highs and lows. And when it comes to dealing with people, it's a real tricky thing because you love, you know, everybody. And, you know, especially for parents, like I said, we get this idea from TV. Some older people grow up with the Brady Bunch and this and that. And you want to live like everybody else. You want to live like the TV, you know. A lot of us are influenced from the TV, from my generation, but for the younger generation, maybe TikTok or just showing people or seeing things. But that's not your reality, you know. Your reality is your reality, and TV and social media is social media and TV. But you have to know and understand in this life, you carry peace, you carry love, but you always have to care for yourself. Because this life is really hard, it's really challenging. Understanding that people don't really work how you work. People don't move how you want them to move. People are not robots. People are human. So sometimes in life, you have to accept an apology you never got. And sometimes in life, you have to forgive somebody who wasn't sorry. But most of all, like I always say, that person is probably you. You might have to forgive you for the thoughts you had. You might have to forgive you for how you used to act. You might have to be sorry for something that you never felt like you were doing wrong. But you have to be you. You have to be better. You have to love. You have to search for greatness. You have to pick yourself up. You have to not doubt yourself. You have to grow. You have to be strong for the people around you, and you have to love and appreciate the people around you. We do this thing where we push off the people that are truly there for us and think like, oh, they'll always be there, so it's no big deal. But that's not true. Like I said, when the day breaks, when you see the sun rise, it's a blessing, because a lot of people didn't get to see that. But it's somebody out there loving you, caring for you, that you're ignoring because you looking for acceptance and love from somebody else. It's a beautiful thing, loving somebody and somebody loves you back, like the great Teddy Pendergrass. This week, I speak into existence. You appreciate each day. You appreciate the sunlight. You appreciate the grass. You appreciate the trees. You appreciate breathing fresh air. You appreciate walking. You appreciate talking. You don't think too far ahead in the future. You don't think in the past. You stay in the present. I speak into existence. You appreciate life. Simply, that's it. Speak into existence. You really and truly appreciate having life no matter how it's going for you this week. I speak that into existence. And this is recorded.